Hey guys, this is Seungeun from Relay to Share. In the last video, I talked about carbohydrates, and today I'll talk about another macromolecule that consists our body, lipid. First of all, lipid is made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. However, different thing from carbohydrate is carbon and hydrogen take larger ratio than oxygen does in lipid. And the special property of lipid is that it's hydrophobic. Hydrophobic is an opposite word of hydrophilic. Hydro is something related to water, and phobic means dislike. So hydrophobic means it doesn't like to be mixed with water. This also means that liquid is nonpolar. Lipid is nonpolar. The functions of lipid includes long-term energy source, insulator, protection of organ, and steroid hormone formation. Then let's take a look at the first one. I said the lipid functions as a long-term energy source. Then what's for the short term? Just taking back to last lesson, glucose is the short-term energy source. There are three main energy sources in our body, and they are carbohydrate, protein, and lipid. Among them, carbohydrate and protein lays out 4 calories per gram, and lipid lays 9 calories per gram. So an important thing that you should remember is that lipid lays more than twice of other energy sources. Protein is like the last option to use as energy, as it composes our body structure such as hair, nail, and so on. We will talk about protein more in my next video. The second function of lipid was that it can trap heat. That is the reason why penguins that live in polar region have more lipid than other animals, to protect their body warm. Lipid not only protects us from heat, but also it protects organs. This is the third function of lipid. Lipid also forms steroid hormone. Most of the hormones in our body are made up of proteins, but steroid hormones are not. They're made up of lipid. The last function is also very important. Unlike other macromolecules, lipid is not a polymer. Although monomer makes polymer and polymer makes macromolecules, lipid just has different kinds and doesn't have monomer or polymer. Now we'll move on to talk about those different kinds of lipids. First is triglyceride. Its another name would be fat. It functions as energy storage and insulator. Tri means 3, so triglyceride consists of glycerol and 3 fatty acids. There are 3 kinds of them, and first one is saturated fatty acid. It is solid, made up of animal fat, and only made by single bonding. Second and third ones are both unsaturated fatty acids, which are made up with liquid texture, plant or fish oil. They are made by at least one double bonding. So among them, monounsaturated fatty acid is vegetable oil, and polyunsaturated fatty acid is fish oil. Picture on the left shows how glycerol and fatty acids attach together. It is done by dehydration synthesis. The linkage formed by it is called ester linkage. You should remember what the bonding connected glucoses was called. We learned it in last video. Can you remember? It was glycosidic acid. Name of the bondings are very important, so make sure keep them in mind. The next kind of lipid would be phospholipid. It is a major component of cell membrane, and it has a very interesting property that, as seen in the picture on the left, its head is hydrophilic and tail is hydrophobic. Just like this. When one molecule has two different properties, we call that it is amphipathic. Tails are made up with carbon and hydrogen, which we learned in the first video that it is nonpolar. That is why it is hydrophobic. Now take a look at the picture on the right. Picture above is a property called micelle. If phospholipids are in water, the heads tend to stick together and tails tend to hide inside to avoid water. The one that you should focus on is picture on the bottom. It is phospholipid bilayer. Bi means two, so it means two layers. So cell membrane also looks like this. As there are water both inside and outside of the cell, phospholipid forms two layers so that both sides that touches water is head of phospholipid. The last kind of lipid that I will talk about is steroid hormone. Sex hormone would be another name for it. Cholesterol, which you might have heard before, does a very important role for steroid hormone. Often people think that cholesterol is a bad thing, so we should put effort to eradicate it. But that's wrong. Cholesterol is needed for people to live, as it is a precursor of steroid hormone. But it is just excessive cholesterol that makes problem. Today's video was short, but it is it for my lesson on lipid. If you want more exercises to practice, I'll make a separate video when the unit 1 ends, so that you can try solving related problems on AP exams. So again, thank you for watching video, and please like and subscribe if this video was helpful. I'll see you in my next video, and I think we will talk about protein. Thank you and bye.